Thought it'd be fun to take a look back at a previous game. I think this is 2018. Obviously, the quality of the video is not as good as with the new iPhones, but you can still kind of get a sense of what's happening in the rallies and in the game. Playing one of my best friends out here when I was living out in BC. He's how many years older? 2 years older, maybe. Pretty close in age, but he's a little bit older. He's definitely more attritional, moves really well for his age. Is fit guy, light on his feet, and yeah, doesn't really attack nearly as much as I do. So I'm the one in the purple shirt that just returned serve there. He's the one in the blue shirt, and you'll see that he plays a lot of length and kind of picks his time to go short there when I hit something a bit loose. And I like to get on the volley. He likes to get on the volley too. So it's really about fighting for the tee in these kind of rallies that we were playing here. We were probably only playing like once or twice a week back at this point. So this is kind of like our weekly match that we would have for some periods at a time. So we kind of knew each other's games really well. We knew what we had to do and what we couldn't do, and how we had to play to kind of be successful. And I think actually playing my friend here is really how I learned how to create pressure with my length instead of just hitting it to the back and getting it behind me. I realized that, if I couldn't actually create pressure with my length, then I never actually got on the volley, or they would also, he would be the one on the tee and volleying quite a bit. So it made me pay a lot more attention to my length if I wanted to play the kind of squash that I wanted to play. And it also made me be a bit more patient, like in that rally there, just he was high up on the tee, I go short, and he made me pay. So made me really think about going short, and just because I got a ball mid-court, or I got a loose ball, it doesn't mean I necessarily am going to attack it short. It doesn't mean I can't attack it, but it just means that I might attack it to the back of the court, which sometimes if your opponent's rushing up to the tee quickly because they see you getting on the volley, sometimes that's going to be the hardest movement for them. And you can see there, he's playing a very high tee. He's thinking about volleying. You need to hit a good length just to regain that tee position. So that's definitely something, I've worked with some pretty good juniors, and that's something they generally have a little trouble with, is trying to move their tee positions up because they just take smaller steps and they're not as proactive and aggressive moving forwards, trying to take that ball early. That's a big part of squash. So if you can not just get up and play the volley, but play it closer to the short line, then you put a lot more pressure on your opponent, but it's also a lot more tiring because you're doing that extra work of moving 1 or 2 or 3 feet higher up in the tee. And if they do get it by you, then you have to move back and get it out of the corner. So it's a lot of work. I think I've seen Nick Matthew post a drill on Instagram about that, trying to work on getting a higher tee where you're just alternating drives and trying to touch a chair or something like that. So I've done similar things like that in my practices where I would just put down, a pylon, or I've made people touch the tee with their racket or sometimes the butt of the racket, which means they have to go and squat. So very tiring when you actually realize playing a higher tee can be exhausting. So we'll see if you can pick up a little bit in the patterns here. So for him, that was probably a shot he just doesn't play. He doesn't make a lot of unforced errors. I think if he had to do that again, I was in front of him, he was kind of in the middle, he probably would have wanted to hit a drive there. But it just shows, like, even when you play squash for 30 plus years, 35 years, like, you're still going to make some bad decisions, but you just don't let it affect you like you do when you're younger, where you just can't let things go as quickly. And that really affects what happens next. And obviously, I think that one was good, but that's kind of what I'd like to play. But playing like that at a high level obviously is super tough because you're basically under more pressure. Your length has to be better, and you just don't get as many times where you can set up and attack and really be precise with your attacking shots. You'll see a few of the top players in the world, they can do that against those top guys as well. But it just shows how amazingly accurate and how well they read the game. And this rally, I was under a bit of pressure. I was, had a loose drive, and he kind of didn't do enough with that shot. And I'd say here, actually, this is something I worked on a lot playing him as well. It was just when I was on the forehand side, when I was probably university age. It was 90% cross court or a kill shot or both. Just getting more confident in my straight drive from the back right corner on the forehand. If you don't hit it tight and you overhit it a lot, or you hit it too short, then you're almost guaranteed you're going to be under pressure, 80-90% of the time on that next shot. So that's why it is a risky shot to play. But if you don't play it and you just, hammer something cross court, you become too predictable and you're not really using the entirety of the court. So, subtleties like that, I think, it just takes a lot of match experience, and playing somebody that has good length that can make you pay when you miss those kind of opportunities is really important for the kind of growth of your game, getting to that next level. And those are kind of the little subtleties that, somebody's like maybe just a regular A player, like one of the better players in the club, and not playing at like a pro level. They probably just, feel like they have great shots, maybe they're fit, and they don't realize some of these subtleties about playing a higher tee, trying to get the weight of your straight drive on the forehand, playing more straight drives in the forehand, how essential those skills are to playing at, not just at our level here, but at an even higher level, where they're even better at it. So I actually don't know the score here. I know it's the audio for the, when I recorded this match, there were some kids screaming and yelling on another court. So I had to just turn it down a little bit and just thought I would talk over top of it. And you'll see a lot of this is just about length, trying to get out in front, get on the volley, and that's where I want to be. I want to be either an easy volley or having a bit of time at the front where I can, get on the ball early, maybe hold the ball, hit down on the ball, play some kill shots, flick the ball, and that's what tires out your opponent, even if they do get their shots back. And that's the creativity and the fun part of squash for me, and why I designed that instructional video, Mastering Deception. That's something that I worked on a lot when I was younger, and it's one of the more fun ways and areas that I enjoy about squash. I definitely, didn't want to, grow up playing like a traditional just length, and, I would get bored and lose interest, and that's not fun. But obviously at a certain level, you have to be able to do that to be able to do the things that you want to do, right? Even if you look at someone like Ramy, who's known for, amazing flicks and just an unbelievable short game, but, someone like that, they still have to have that impeccable short game to create opportunities, which is basically what I was saying in this, but obviously they do it at that, a much higher level than we do. But you can see, just because we have played each other so many times, that there are patterns forming, and that time I missed that one. But so, you don't want to be too predictable, but so you have to decide, like, do I just need to play that shot better? Or do I need to actually play a different shot once in a while just to keep them a little bit more honest? And that's what I talked about on that volley, not always going short when I get a volley opportunity, trying to play a few more straight drives from the back forehand corner. So then, when I do use those other shots, when I play my volley drop or volley nick, volley boast, or maybe if I do cross court from the back forehand corner, then they're going to be a little bit more effective because I'm not going to the well too often. So there was a lob serve. So I didn't like to actually, this is when I started experimenting, using more lob serves, playing with my serve, and trying to do different things with my serve, and found it, it's a lot for me about confidence and having, I guess, an understanding of what you're trying to do with the serve, so your opponent's not getting too comfortable, just putting you under pressure every time you return serve. So forehands, that one's a little bit more simple, but he didn't volley, so he got in a bit of trouble. And now I have him under a bit of pressure, and then he hits a good backhand straight drive out of the back. I mean, that's a shot that, good players are going to need money at from the back left corner. Unless they're really under a ton of pressure like that one, he was a little bit, then it's very hard to do too much. But you can see what happened. I kind of thought about volleying before he hit a shot. I went over, then I volley boasted, opened up the court, and then, he actually put me under a little bit of pressure now. So we're back and resetting in the rally, jogging for position on the tee, and waiting for that first opportunity to apply some pressure. And looks like I just clipped the tin, but I think it was the right shot, and probably would have applied a lot of pressure if not won the rally. So those are instances where I try to tell myself like that was a great shot, and it's just next time I'm gonna make it. Like instead of when I was younger, I'd be so upset for missing an easy shot. I just know that I can only play as well or play my best if I'm confident and if I'm playing the right shots, and it doesn't mean I'm always gonna make it. So that's it. That's the end of this game. I hope you enjoyed. I thought, obviously I can't record some new footage at the moment, so I thought it'd be fun just to look at some not too ancient of footage. It's 2018. I'm not sure what time of the season, but I would imagine in the winter. So it's probably almost 3 years old. And we had many, many battles, and hopefully I can go visit sometime soon and we can have a rematch.